Hey guys, Charles here again. Sorry it's been a little while since I uploaded a video. I've been really busy. But I was asked by Julia Roberts to do a video about what to pay attention to when shipping directly from China to Amazon in the US, okay, to FBA centers. So first things first, before talking about shipping directly from China to Amazon FBA centers in the US, um, one thing I want to mention is when you're searching for a potential supplier on Alibaba, what most people do is, let's say you write to a company and then you hit send for your message, and then it says something like, do you want to send this message to other similar suppliers? Something like that, okay? And then you hit yes. And what that does is other companies receive this message and then they can contact you. But apparently there's quite a bit of scammers doing that. So what they'll do is they get that message, they contact you, and then they start talking to you, and they pretend working for a company XYZ, and then they just scam you, and you send the money, and you never get anything. Okay, so if you do hit that send to other similar suppliers button, um, when you get messages from other companies, make sure that these people actually work for that company. So let's say you get a message from a person from a company XYZ, then go to find the company XYZ on Alibaba, send them a message directly and say, hey, does this person work for you? And then they'll let you know if that person actually works for them or not. Because it happened to people I know. Uh, they didn't get to the point where they sent money, but people were pretending to work for some companies and were giving them quotes that were really low and didn't make any sense. Okay, so just a heads up before you actually get going there sending money to China. Okay, so for us Canadians and sellers from countries other than the US, it's a little bit more difficult to send products to the US because we don't have any presence there, but I'll try to clarify that for you today, okay? So, um, so first thing is you don't know what the real quality of the product is because sometimes suppliers will send you a sample, the sample looks good, and then, sorry, and then the actual products can be way different than the sample. And believe me, it happened to my friend, well, a few friends of mine, but one of them, like the quality was so poor that the reviews on that product were 1 stars and 2 stars mostly. Um, so before you have them ship your products, I would definitely recommend you hire an inspection agent based in China that can go and inspect the shipment, make sure the quality is there, and then that can save you a lot of money. Okay, so that's one recommendation. Personally, I've never done it because when I started, I didn't even know about this. But I was lucky enough that the quality was always good, and I always deal with the same supplier. So I've never, sorry about that. I've never had to hire an inspection agent. Okay. Now, so when you ship directly from China, there's kind of two ways you can do this. You can have your supplier prepare the products, prep them, and then ship the product directly to Amazon. Or you can also use a middleman in the U.S. So 3PL, third-party logistics companies and stuff like that. Okay. Now there's pros and cons to both. Um, because if you use a middleman, usually it allows you to have your shipment shipped to only one place, so you'd ship it to their warehouse. Whereas if you ship directly to Amazon, in the what's called the shipment, inventory placement option, um, by default, Amazon can tell you to ship to different warehouses. So one shipment might go to, let's say, 3 warehouses. Now there's an option that you can choose that you always only send it to one warehouse. But the thing is, if you do that, there's fees. And last time I checked, it was $150 per 500 units. So it adds up quite a bit. So you might be better off sending it to different warehouses if they ask you. Because for myself, I've been pretty lucky. Usually they all send they always tell me to send my stuff to one warehouse. So because by doing it, by shipping it to different warehouses, it costs you more money. So if you ship it to a middleman, then you only ship it to one location, which might save you on shipping cost. Okay. Also, if you use a middleman, usually they know how to prep the products and the shipment uh, up to Amazon's requirements. So usually there's less chances of your shipment being rejected by Amazon. Okay. Um, but the downside of it is that it costs you a bit more in time because it's going to take longer, and then because they're going to prep it, go through all of your shipment, and then it's going to cost you a bit more money too because they don't do it for free, right? Um, and then they're going to have to ship it to an Amazon warehouse, so you're going to pay for extra shipping there as well, right? Now, if you do ship directly to Amazon, what that's what I do personally. Um, your supplier preps your shipment. Okay, so they put the FNSQ barcodes and they do your packaging, and they put the box labels for Amazon on the boxes and all of that. Now, if you ship to several Amazon warehouses, because that's what Amazon wants, it's going to cost you more money, like I said earlier, to ship. So you might lose a bit of money there. Um, but like I said, you can choose to ship them all to one warehouse, but then there's fees from Amazon to do that. Um, Now, it also costs less money to do so because uh, like the preparation fees are less if it's done by your Chinese supplier than by a middleman in the US. Obviously, labor costs, printing costs, and all of that are lower in China. So it's going to cost you less money. It's going to be faster too, and they ship directly. Now, one downside to this is that your supplier will know your sales strategy. Okay, so they know how to prepare the products. They know how everything works to send it to Amazon. So if your supplier decides to uh, if they see that you sell quite a bit of volume then and then they're like, well, maybe we should sell directly to Amazon, then they can just bypass you and start selling on Amazon, right? So that's kind of a downside. So if you do use a middleman, then you don't have to, it's not prepped when it leaves China. Now this way uh, they don't know as much information as to what your sales channel is and your sales strategies, right? So that's one factor to consider for sure. Um, Now, another downside might be that the prep, like, there's more chances of your shipment being rejected by Amazon if your supplier does it because some of them are not used to preparing shipments for to go to Amazon. A lot of them are, but some of them aren't. So it's going to be your responsibility to tell them, hey, you have to use a sticker or whatever, like a barcode of this size. You're going to have to put a suffocation warning if the polybag opening is 5 inches or longer, and this and that. So you're going to have to do a little bit more digging on that, but it's going to save you money because if you use a middleman, then they're going to charge you for each little extra that you add, right? So now, once you decide, let's say you do decide to ship directly from your supplier to Amazon, okay? So the easiest way is by shipping by Air Express. Okay, usually my supplier uses DHL. You can use DHL, UPS, FedEx, whatever. Okay, these companies all have their own customs broker, and then the Air Express service is, it does go through customs, but they have their own customs broker in house, so it goes through very quickly, and there's way less paperwork required. So you can usually what I do is I have my supplier use their own DHL account because they get way better rates than we can get because of volume and all of that. And then they ship using their account, and they ship DDP. Okay, so that's very important. Ship, deliver, duties paid, because once it gets to Amazon, if there's any duties to be paid, Amazon's going to reject the shipment, and then this is going to go back to origin. So you're going to have to pay to ship it back to China, and then ship it properly back again to US. So it's going to cost you a lot of money. So make sure your supplier ships DDP. It's really important. I usually pay around $5 per kilogram using Air Express, or less. If it's more than that, be careful. It might be that your supplier is trying to make a little bit more money off the transaction. So try to stick around that $5 or less per kilogram. Okay, that's US dollar. And then what happens when they ship DDP is, once it goes through customs, there's going to be duties to be paid, and then that's going to be charged to your supplier's DHL account, and then they're going to send you a bill when you receive the invoice. So usually for me, that's 1 to 3 months after the shipment went through customs. So it can take a while, but it's way easier this way. Okay. And Air Express usually takes 2 to 3 business days, so it's really fast, and it's easy because there's not as much paperwork, but it's definitely the most expensive way. Okay, now your second option is to ship by air, but not express. So I just started doing that not long ago because my Air Express shipping shipments were really expensive, and I wanted to lower costs, so decided to ship by air. Now, what I do is it's the exact same way. My supplier uses their own DHL account. They ship by air instead of Air Express. So this takes a little bit longer than Air Express, so it's usually 4 to 6 business days, but it's still very fast compared to by sea. And it's cheaper, quite a bit cheaper than Air Express. So, but there's more paperwork involved. So on this one, you actually need an importer of record, and you need an ultimate consignee. So what you want to do is you want your supplier to act as importer of record. That's what I do. And then for the ultimate consignee, because the ultimate consignee also gives the customs broker their EIN for customs purposes. And so in that case, if it goes to an Amazon FBA center, you can ask your customs broker, so for example DHL, to contact Amazon, and then there's a specific email address they want the customs broker to contact them at. I think it's something like seller-imports at Amazon.com, but you'd have to verify that. But so the customs broker contacts Amazon via this email address, and then they need the shipment ID and a few different information, and then Amazon will give them their EIN, and they're gonna act as ultimate consignee. So you have your supplier acting as importer of record, and then you have Amazon acting as the ultimate consignee. And then that's it, and then it goes through customs, and then same thing again. Duties, well, you have to ship DDP, and then duties are going to be charged to your supplier's DHL account, and then they invoice you later when they get the bill. And then the third way is to ship by sea. I can't really help you with that because I don't have any experience shipping by sea. I didn't want to get into that because being in Canada and selling in the States is a little bit tricky. I think there's even more paperwork um, if you ship by sea. But it's definitely cheaper. It's way cheaper. It's usually half to a third of what you pay for shipping by air. And but like I said, there's more paperwork involved. So and it takes way longer. So it usually takes 25 to 30 days at sea, and then it could be up to a week at customs. So it usually adds up. You usually plan for 45 days for shipping. So that's it, guys. I hope it helps. And if you have any other suggestions or any topics you'd like me to talk about, then feel free to comment below or send me a private message via YouTube, and I'll see what I can do. So you guys have a good day.